Hey guys, welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Wace. Finally, the car is at the dyno. We're actually here at Dyno Pro Technologies. This is part of the shop that you guys have heard me say a few times on the channel, which is Ecotech, and that's my local Subaru shop. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to get the car on the dyno. There's a couple of things that are going to happen today. Is we are going to get a baseline. We are going to get the Burger Motorsport intake back on the car, and I wasn't aware of this. I thought we were going to do E30, but we're actually going to be doing E40, so we might be making a little bit more power than we originally anticipated. I know that we've posted a few videos about what some of the other Protunes are doing, and I'm really excited. And also, the person who's going to be tuning is actually the same team that tuned Subispeed's Blue WRX that you guys saw, and they did a great job. But he's actually going to be working with our tuner here locally. I'm actually going to get him on the camera and just kind of let him explain how we're going to be doing stuff today. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. Guys, this is Adam from Dyno Pro Technologies, also part of Ecotech. He's actually going to be helping tune the car today. Adam, what can we expect today?
So today we're going to have Graham at Boosted Performance doing the tuning. I'll be operating the dyno. So first thing we'll do is load the car up on the dyno, get it strapped down, then we'll calibrate the wheel speed. And after that, we'll do some preliminary logging for idle and cruise. And then after that, we'll do a full throttle pull on the stock intake. And then after that, we'll go ahead and move into the Burger Motorsports intake so we can see what kind of power this thing makes on pump 93. And then one more time after that, we'll go into the ethanol E40 mixture, and then we should be seeing a huge gain with that. And I'm pretty excited to see how this does. This will be the first one we've had on our dyno here at Ecotech and Dyno Pro.
So right now, Adam is actually calibrating the dyno, and once he's done with that, he is going to run a base map, and this is actually the Cobb OTS simulated stock, so it should make pretty much the same power that the stock car makes, so we have a good baseline of where we started. I'm actually really excited because this is something that I've seen since the cars come out. A lot of people have argued, like, well, exactly how much wheel horsepower does it make compared to the 271 to the crank that Subaru claims? Guess we're going to find out. Alright guys, so you guys just saw the first pull, and here we go. Pretty much what everybody else has been getting, 268 in power, 267 torque. I mean, you tell me. Subaru is saying that to the crank, this car makes 271. There's no way. There's no way this car makes 271 to the crank. So clearly, they're pulling the Volkswagen on us. So the dyno is a dyno jet. And I know you guys have seen tons of these dyno graphs all over the internet. And the biggest question has been, well, you know, if it makes 271 to the crank, well, it can't make 250, 260 to the wheel. Well, there you go. You know, I'm yet like, what, the 5 millionth person to have dyno to WRX to show you what a stock one makes. Now, whenever I post these races against STIs, all the people that have STIs, it hurts their ego. They come and they say, oh, well, it's only 3 more horsepower than before. It's nowhere near as fast. And it's, on paper, it doesn't look that fast. But with the way the power is, the way the power band is, and the way the new transmission is, having like the closer gears, it makes a massive difference. Yes, one particular thing, one particular piece of data that you look at may not tell the full story. But as a package, that's what matters. I mean, nobody ever just looks at a car and says, oh, that engine is great. That doesn't make the car great. Everything needs to work together. And I think for the first time in some time, at least since like the 2015 WRXs, it drives incredibly well. And I'm glad that that is the number that would came up, because that's exactly what I felt like when I was racing my friend's STI a couple of months back, and his was stock, mine was stock, and everybody was, you know, I have a short up for it. Even to this day, I get messages from people that own STIs telling me that it's stupid, or I'm no good, or that car is too slow, or the STI guy short shifted, or whatever. But I mean, just, it's, at some point, people have to accept that Subaru made a better WRX. And when an STI does come out, they will make a better STI. So what he's doing now, he's actually loading up. So Graham is the tuner, and he's over at Boosted Performance in Iowa. And you guys, again, you guys have seen his video, or at least you've seen Subi Speed's video where they took his WRX, and he's made great power. I think, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say he was touching about 400 torque, which is pretty high. And so Adam is actually sending the base map over to Graham, who's gonna, you know, fiddle around with it, and they're gonna throw on their stage 1, and we'll see what it makes. This is the part where it gets exciting. Guys, this was just stage 1, right? So this is just a stage 1, and I want you to just take a look at those numbers. 281, 351. That's ridiculous. At 19 pounds, that is crazy. All right, guys, so this is where we're at right now. This is where we're gonna end at 289 and 251 torque. We're actually gonna get the intake on there now, and then we'll start this process again with just 93. And then after that, E40, baby. That's when we're gonna make some big, big bucks. All right, guys, just an update. The intake is on the car. We actually just got another map for the intake, and we're just doing a quick, not a run, but just like a just an idle to make sure everything looks okay. And once we get the okay from the tuner, next pull is going to be the first pull with 93 with the intake on. I'm telling you, I'm very excited. I've heard more that the J-pipe does help, but the intake is a big sticking point for this car, and you can make a decent amount of power, so I'm really looking forward to it. All right, guys, first run with the intake. Check that out. 319 horsepower and 360 torque. That is a big jump. Oh, wow. That's officially more than, yeah. So we got 321, 52, and 361, 21. That is fantastic. And then we're still on 93, but with just the intake. All right, guys, so here's where we're at. This is going to be the starting point. 321 horsepower, 361 torque. This is our kickoff point for ethanol. There it is. Just another update. Ethanol is in. Everything is good. The ethanol tune is on the car. The next run that we're going to be doing is going to be the first E40 run that we do today. And I mean, we've been talking, Adam and I have been talking. We're very excited. We think this is going to, maybe the torque won't go up as much as we want or as much as we think, but we really think that the horsepower is going to jump up a decent amount as we work through this tune. So I'm going to set up the camera and let's watch this next run. All right, first ethanol run. Let's see what we got. Damn. Wow. Dude, that is crazy. That is amazing. So we got, first run is 346 and 358 on the torque, but look at this line. It's just, this is fantastic. It's really good. For some reason, well, not for some reason, I forgot to turn the mic on, but you can see we just hit 355 and 367 torque, or 365 torque. The car is loving everything that we're giving it. I have no idea where we're gonna stop. What do you think, about 600? One day, yeah. All we'll have to do is upgrade one part and they'll probably do it. The car's running great. It sounds great, especially like in this cavernous area. I still can't wait till we get a J-pipe to really get some pops, but I mean, even right now, it is making incredible noise. We're gonna keep going, and let's see how high we get. All right, let's see where we're at. Damn. Look at that. 361, 374 torque.
Pretty majestic.
That is nice. Again, all of an intake and ethanol. That's it. And you went from what was 268, 251? 268, 258?
So this was the OEM.
Yeah. Look at
the OEM map.
268, 267 is where we started. That is incredible.
Yeah. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Graham's first revision. And that one did 24, 351.
And that was just the first revision with 93 alone.
Right.
No intake.
And then we moved on. I think I'm going to go a couple ahead of that.
That was the second last, right? The 319 was the second last we did on ethanol.
Correct. And then 313, I believe, is what we left it at.
No, it was 321.
Oh, that's right.
It was 321, 360. Yeah, 321, 361 is where we started before ethanol.
Right, that was our final pump map.
That is incredible.
And then we moved on to, this is confusing.
It.
It was all but that.
Yeah.
The first ethanol,
First ethanol.
second ethanol, third ethanol.
That's, man, you can see each revision we went up about 10 horsepower. That's really good.
Nice little jumps.
Especially the torque. I mean, pretty much about even. They both went up about 10, about 10-ish each time. That's good. That is very nice. Yeah. And you're saying with a J-pipe, we're looking at about another 20 on top of that. On top of that. So with a J-pipe, yeah, we'll be at 380, 400. Easy. All right, so this is it. 361, 374 is what it's making. That is incredible. Everything looks good. Graham says everything looks fantastic. This is where we're going to end it. Now remember, this is intake and ethanol only. J-pipe's not ready yet. We'll come back in a couple of weeks for the J-pipe, and they're projecting another 20-30 horsepower, and another 20-30 torque with the J-pipe. So yeah, potentially much closer to 400. So we're going to get the car off and go take it for a ride, and we are very, very excited to see what this feels like. And I will set up the camera so you guys can see our impressions once we get out there. So we're going to get the car down, but what I wanted to do was actually have Adam kind of explain some of the things that he saw, because it was very interesting. Now, as a non-tuner, non-mechanic, these kind of went over my head, but I did notice some things like the dam, which I'm going to let him explain now.
So when we did the very first baseline run on the OTS Stage 0 map, which is like a stimulated stock map, I saw dam began at 0.688, which is a typical Subaru strategy on ignition timing. It's to work the dam up. But it didn't really move much until I got into boost, which is, again, typical. And at that point, at boost, I saw 0.812, which means about 2 or 3 runs and dam should be up at around 0 without much knock, if any, on the stock tune. I did see a little knock on the stock tune. But we didn't make much power. I mean, it was pretty flat torque curve. We made around 265, I think, right?
268. 268. Yeah.
And then we moved on to doing a tune with the stock intake, and it really woke the car up with a little bit more boost and a little bit more timing as well. Then after that, we went on to adding the burger intake, which really kind of woke up the car on the top end. We gained around 30 horsepower up in redline all around. So that was pretty substantial. And then on top of that, moving on to the ethanol 40%, we saw a huge jump. I think our final numbers were around 365, 361, 374. Yeah, just insane numbers on a stock turbo, stock exhaust, stock J pipe. And I know it's been kind of in the news the last month or two with tuners talking about how easy these things are to make power. It's just kind of incredible to see it in person. I do a lot of, bone stock style EJ 255s, 257s, and none of them come close to making the kind of power that we see with the FA24 platform. It's just much more apt to do these things. And it seems like ethanol really woke the car up anyway. So I'm excited to see a flex fuel come out and people running way bigger content and bigger turbos on these engines and see where they break. I don't know. We're going to see on the stock motor. I would vouch to say they're probably going to get a little unsafe around 400, 450 wheel torque. I mean, I think that's probably what most people are tuning them at, but I don't know. I'm just excited to see it. It's nice to see a new platform come through.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
All right, so we're on the highway now. We're gonna see all what the dyno shows in real life on the butt dyno.
Might just be a moment. Wow,
you feel it?
I mean, the torque is linear.
Yeah,
it's flat. I mean, it does peak a little bit, but it's like nothing like a stock VF48 turbo would do. Even the stock turbo on the FA20 it is smaller. I know that for sure, but the Garretts are just awesome turbos in general. They have awesome compressor maps. They're not a diesel turbo, and there's nothing wrong with diesel turbos, but
right.
They're designed for lower RPM, more boost. That makes sense. And that's why they taper off so hard up top. But these are just nice.
Oh, there's that sound.
Yeah, feels good.
Feels good.
Feels real good.
And it's still, at least sitting in the passenger seat, it still seems very smooth.
It's very drivable.
Like I'm not like there's no that sudden surge of power.
No.
Right? It just feels like a regular car.
Flat torque. And I mean, it's not peaky, like it doesn't come up too high up at the top end. If you had a larger turbo, we would feel that little rush, but this is just very drivable, very good driving car. I quite enjoy it.
And that's kind of what you want, right? You want something with more power, but like, especially for this as a daily, I don't want it to be like rough and a pain to drive.
No, this is, I mean, if you're going to drive something that you enjoy, I think this would be the right power band, the right amount of power for the street. I mean, even a little bit more might be nice, but this is just...
We'll get that. We will get that.
Will happen later.
We will definitely get that a little bit more.
This is an all-stock car with an intake. I mean, what else can you ask for?
We're going to do this right. Doesn't matter what happens. We're just going to keep recording. That's what the internet gets. Guys, sorry about what happened in the car. The camera actually died because it overheated. We were actually having a very good conversation about the differences between the VB and all older cars, because as Adam had mentioned, he has an older WRX and he's learned so much about it, and it surprised him even today with what the new car was doing. Anyway, what's more important is this is Ecotech. I have mentioned this company so many times in my other videos. This is a local Subaru shop here in St. Louis. A couple of my friends work here, and we actually come out here fairly often throughout the year to do different Subaru meets, and we have a lot of fun. And who I wanted to introduce you to is the person who made all of this possible, and this is the owner of Ecotech. This is Misha. I actually reached out to him a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago.
Probably, yeah.
And just tried, and it wasn't even about like, hey, let's do something. I just wanted to see maybe if there was some 22 tuning available. And he basically ended up sponsoring my build here, and so we were able to get dyno time and a tune done, got my intake installed, and some amazing results, which is great for me, because I have a super fast car now, and it's great for them because they now have, more 22 VB tuning experience, and the hope is more people will now come out here, bring their 22s out here. And I wanted to just give them some time, not just so much time, but also thank you as well for allowing me to come out here, because it's been a great learning experience, and I'm just gonna ask them a couple of questions.
All right.
So, Misha,
Yes.
How many cars so far, 22 WRXs, have you done here at Ecotech?
So as far as actual tuning, this is the first one. Now Graham at Boosted, who's doing the tuning data and R&D on this is his 14th one since it came out. But in St. Louis Live, yours is the first one.
That's again, I feel super special knowing that I was able to get in.
What they don't know is we were planning this for a while. We're planning this video, and we're trying to do you having the first one here.
Yeah, and like I said, it's been, I would say, about a month and a half of me just being really excited.
Yeah.
And what's crazy was people started tuning them online. Right? People started tuning, and other tuners had it, but we weren't scheduled to come until January. And I'm not gonna lie, I had that itch.
Yeah.
Every time I'd see a new post, I was like, oh, come on, January, come on, January.
We wanted to have, especially Graham, he wanted to have a ton of them. I mean, some of these, so this was with, one day today.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these, like the Subi Speed one that he did, that was the first one he did that you might see online. I mean, he had that thing for weeks. I was
Really?
just trying to figure out what actually works, what doesn't work, and how far can you push it. What is it like? Do these problems actually exist that you see on the internet? We still don't know, but
Right.
We don't want to know actually, but what we do want to know is that what it does and what yours did is what they all should be able to do.
Yeah.
With almost no mods.
That is the craziest part, because as you saw, all we have is an intake, E40. That's it. I mean, you compare that to a VA, and I know my friend has his car right now here, and I promise you, he's probably spent, I'd say, maybe a total of $5,000.
Probably.
I'd say at least $4,000 to $5,000, and I think he's still going to come out a little bit lower than me. Yeah. I don't believe he's going to hit 370 torque. Do you think so?
No, not with a stock turbo. Yeah.
And if you go buy a WRX today and somebody says, here's a 2021 brand new, and here's a 2022 brand new, and you're going to tune the car, you are actually losing money buying a VA WRX.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment.
Except for the price difference of the car.
Exactly the same.
Is it the same?
And that's the thing, because my premium that I bought last year, 21, was 32, and this as a premium is also 32.
Right.
Like there's no, and if you go for a base, it's like 29,999.
Right.
Both of them. So like that's how I feel. I mean, if you're the same amount of money you're paying for the car and you're going to tune it,
it's better to buy an older one.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. What's a 16 worth right now? 17. And then you can add that money into it. But you're right, brand new.
Well, then you run into like, is it what happened to it? What happened to it, right? Yeah.
Who
So in
else
that
had it
case,
before?
you're definitely good. But I mean, I guess it's for new, new to new.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a different conversation.
Right.
But I think it's hey, you know what? Either way, it's going to end up here.
Well, if you go outside, you'll see there's plenty of them here.
Yeah, and we'll actually take a walk. I mean, there's some great looking Subarus in the lot. Everybody in St. Louis knows, Ecotech. I know people from Kansas City that know Ecotech. I actually have tons of friends in the online community right now who have VBs who don't really know where to go to tune.
Right.
And I thought this would be a great place for them to come because, I mean, Chicago, what's about 4 hours?
Oh yeah, we do. I mean, people come from all over anyway, so it's really common, for us to see out of state, especially that close,
Yeah.
Chicago or. I mean, Graham tunes in Chicago as well, so it's between us.
This is true, yeah.
So he does. If it's more convenient for them to go to 6 Star Chicago, then he'll tune through there. Otherwise, the Midwest, it's us. Yeah. But
You know what?
we
Do a little road trip, come on down.
Yeah.
A few people from Arkansas, actually 2 people from Arkansas have already told me, like, hey, we're coming up for some event or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, hey, that's great. Stop by, say hi,
yeah.
bring the car in. Just, and a lot of people have that ETS intake without a tune. And we've seen what happened. ETS said that you didn't need a tune, but you need a tune.
Everyone's going to say that you don't need a tune because then you wouldn't buy it.
Yes. Not saying,
Not
ETS
saying
has been there a long time.
And it is, but I mean,
technically you don't need it. Yeah, all right. That's a different conversation. But
yeah. I mean,
anyway,
technically, an off-the-shelf map should work too, and it rarely does on almost any car. Because how can they all be built exactly the same way? How could the fuel be the same?
Exactly.
How could the weather the same?
The weather, that's another very thing that people don't remember.
And none of those compensations are there for that, so unless you put them in, so it's impossible,
Yeah.
So
anyway, I'm very happy with the car.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much to Ecotech and Misha and Adam and even Graham for putting all this stuff together.
Yeah, exactly.
I will definitely be back.
Yeah.
There's no, we're still waiting. We're going to get the J pipe in there.
Yes, we got
and
some plans.
anything else that comes out, this is where the VB is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
This is its home. Again, thank you very much, Misha. I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you see that there is, if you don't have a VB and you're on the fence about it, maybe this will help you. Maybe you have an older WRX and you're just ready for a change, or maybe it's kind of, going out. Don't listen to what everybody's saying online. Make your own opinions. Go drive the car by yourself. That is the most important thing. Don't just look at it, drive it. Nobody buys a car without driving it first anyway. And a lot of these people that don't like it haven't driven it. I guarantee you. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.